Hello, YouTubers. How you guys doing? This is good old Grandmaster Revan here, and you're watching the Anonymous Liberty Media. I also want to apologize for my screen. It's a little retarded, but that's okay. But please bear with me. I would surely appreciate it big time. Now, what happened yesterday? There's a footage of a car supposedly plowing through a group of protesters and stuff, and the person's name was James Fields, a 20-year-old driver of the notorious Dodge Challenge. Now, says here by Squawker, since the night of the riot rally in Charlottesville, Virginia on 12th and 13th of this month, one of the biggest headlines across the news outlets everywhere is the alleged nefarious plot of car wrecker James Fields, a quiet Kentucky-born Ohio resident. Fields is an outspoken supporter of President Trump. However, when the right-wing rally quickly turned into an ugly session of violence, footage shows Fields stomped on the gas pedal, killing one and injured 19, which I thought it was 35, but I was wrong. I was wrong on the injuries and stuff. But some news out. Damn it. Let's see here. Some news outlets have considered that stance to be an attack of intentional or premeditated attack on the counter protesters who arrived at the scene. However, a closer footage taken from the instance may offer a plausible defense for Fields. The following footage does not belong to us and was gathered from the internet, mostly from a recent 4chan thread concerning the defense of James Fields. For the sake of brevity and convenience, credited for the following contents goes to poll. And the first video shows the vehicle before it accelerates, moving down the road at regular speed before being closed by an angry mob of counter protesters. Now, let's see here. Okay. I'm going to show here the footage. And let me switch here. And as you can see, note that nobody has been hit by a car yet. The brake light was activated and it was damaged. It was damaged by attack by Antifa. And I mean, but it shows that. Okay, see. I want to try it again here. Explain here, but it proves that he was being attacked. See video 2 here. See video 2. Here it is here. Next video 2. And we're going to go with video 3. Yeah, video 3. But he did hit somebody. um, you know, of the evidence by video 1, there is no apparent plot initiated on behalf of the driver, and that Fields clearly attempted to make his way through the street, driving at appropriate speed and then slow down when surrounded by counter-protesters. Moreover, Fields clearly applied his brake after being hit, showing that he did not intend to enter into the situation with any violence, which we just showed. In the second video, in the second slow video, one of the counter protesters can be clearly seen striking Phil's vehicle with a considerable force, perhaps sparkling a well-known instance that followed shortly thereafter. Note that before putting his vehicle in reverse, Phil's car received a hearty blow from one of the counter protesters' pistol bat on the back windshield. It is only when Fields put the car into reverse, as any individual would do in a situation. The videos above hopefully shine a hopeful light on the whole entire situation. Fields is not a malicious man who intended to wreak havoc and should be charged with manslaughter rather than second-degree murder. The young man was clearly provoked by counter-protesters. Surrounded his vehicle for an unknown reason, smashed a hole in the back window with a baseball bat. As above data highlights the fact that the vehicle has been dented before it ran over anybody. It is clear that Fields' private property was violated before he retaliated in kind. Never mind the facts that the counter-protesters are all wielding weapons such as clubs, bats, clearly preparing for a violent confrontation. Rather, let us proceed to the main point in Fields' defense: castle laws. In the United States, homicide is generally justified if the perpetrator in question is legitimately in fear of their own life. Defense of habitation laws revolve around the right of an individual to protect his or her life with legal force if their lives are being threatened while dwelling in a habitation wherein they have the legal right to be. The implementation of the laws are intended to make it to where individuals who are not forced to retreat from the city of lawfully undwelling habitations due to the threat of violence. And the state of Virginia specifically, the Supreme Court ruled that statute of forced entry does not, in express term, deprive owners of the common law right to take possession by reasonable force of premises to which he may be entitled. This would presumably imply the rights, including Fields, has the right to use reasonable force to preserve or reclaim that which is it being taken or is under threat of being revoked from his possession in case his life and or his vehicle. Fields should not plead guilty for murder, as he cannot be proven to have held malicious intent towards any of the counter-protesters, and surface footage implies that his violent actions were the result of being spurred on and threatened by counter protesters. The injuries obtained by the counter protesters is at the hands of Antifa, not the right. But this was from Squawker. And go to squawker.com. Well, the story was done by Carlise Du Razel, August 13th, 2017. Oh, okay, it's August. All right. Culture wars. New video evidence proves James Fields' Charlottesville car wrecker was attacked by Antifa. Tell you what. I'm just finding this really kind of like I'm trying to understand that. I mean, will he be charged for? Would it be manslaughter or would it be second-degree murder? I mean, if the story is true, then he has a pretty good defense of his video, sir. But I would think that if Antifa did attack him, then they too should be held accountable because they attacked him, and that's a big if. They attacked him, and which made him hit somebody who was protesting against hate. Then Antifa should be held accountable. The question is, would they be held accountable? They should be. If they attacked the guy, I mean, look, I would look at it like this, okay? If it was an accident by, yeah, someone died. He hit someone. She's no longer alive. She's dead. If he was if the driver of the car was attacked by Antifa, in which made him go into the wrong street and by any chance hit somebody, which they died, then it's at a point where Antifa should be held accountable. Okay? There's videos on YouTube of them attacking people who are just driving by. They're hitting cars with bats, sticks, all kinds of shit they got. And if Antifa did attack him, which not intentionally hit somebody, if he's gonna be charged with murder for hitting a woman, taking her alive, then Antifa as well should be held accountable. They should be charged with murder as well. So Of course, Antifa is a violent bunch of retards who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about or what the fuck they're doing. Um, but it's really, I mean, really insane that also here, new evidence emerged about Charlottesville police, and it's alarming. Oh shit! OccupyTheBronx.org. Okay, new evidence emerges about Charlottesville police, and it's alarming. Charlottesville police refrain from intervening as violence escalates in the city streets during the white nationalist Unite the Right rally on Saturday. Emerging evidence suggests writing for ProPublica reporter A.C. Thompson said he and others repeatedly witnessed instances in which authorities took a large laissez-faire approach following white supremacists and counter-protesters to physically battle. The police did little to stop the bloodshed, Thompson wrote several times. A group of assault rifle-toting militia members of New York State wearing body armor and desert camo playing a more role acting of breaking up a fight. American Civil Liberties Union of Virginia tweeted a video on Saturday of Confederate flag-bearing militiamen and counter-protesters with the following caption: "Police say we'll not intervene until given command to do so." The lack of police intervention is notable given that prominent right-wing media had called on attendees to bring weapons and battle armor to the rally. The Virginia State Police and Charlottesville law enforcement have previously been criticized by the ACLU of Virginia for their conduct during protests during far right in July. The ACLU of Virginia, along with the other legal organizations, submitted a letter to the Charlottesville City Council and Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe, criticizing the outsized and militaristic response to the July 8th protest in which the Ku Klux Klan rally in the city of Charlottesville. This is the first time journalists have noted the passivity of law enforcement during violent confrontation between right-wing and anti-fascists. Mother Jones journalist Sean Bauer, who reported on the far-right rally that took place in April on the streets of Berkeley, California, wrote that riot police were consciously absent despite hours of street fights. Block away, police standing near their cars. I approached the officer and asked why they haven't intervened more during the last couple hours of mayhem. He shrugs. That would be a good question for the chief of police. One person was killed and 19 injured after 20-year-old James Alex Fields Jr. allegedly drove his car into anti-fascist protesters in Charlottesville. Photographs have since emerged as Fields marching with a racist right-wing organization during the rally. It's kind of odd, you know. If you're an officer, your job is to protect the city, protect the citizens, do your job. But if you're told, well, stand down by the mayor, then you don't deserve to wear that fucking badge. You deserve to lose your fucking job and your fucking pension. Couple arrested for running pedophile ring using adopted disabled children. Charlottesville killer was a Hillary supporter funded by Soros. from yournewswire.com. Some tell me that this is fake news. Okay, Charlottesville killer was a Hillary supporter funded by Soros. I mean, come on, man. A man accused of being an neo-Nazi and murdered a woman by deliberately driving into her during protests in Charlottesville is, in reality, a supporter of Hillary Clinton and a member of Antifa. In receipt funded by George Soros, according to reports. Now, now I just read this report from Squawker saying that he was attacked by Antifa, and shit. This is from yournewswire.com, which I think is fucking fake news. Gibbsfield 20, a My Ohio, allegedly killed Heather Hare, age 32, and injured 19 others when he rammed his car in a group of protesters on Saturday in Charlottesville, Virginia. Mainstream media is claiming Fields is a neo-Nazi and has conveniently produced photographs showing Fields standing in a Vanguard America and carrying a shield bearing the group's insignia. But the mainstream media is actively suppressing information that proves Fields is actually a left-wing operative at the heart of the false flag designed to spark civil war, introduce martial law, and take away rights of conservative groups to assembly peacefully. Police order stand down just as the incident, as confirmed by ACLU. This invited the violence the city war used to shut down a counter-permitted protest, said Robert Barnes, a high-profile constitutional lawyer. Immediately after the car was driven into the crowd by, and James Field was identified as the driver and arrested, his social media account were put on lockdown, and his scrubbed political contents, his affiliation to Clinton, and the dangerous far left have been actively suppressed. There's only one winner in Charlottesville, and his name is George Soros, and he funds Antifa. The Unite the Right rally has planned months in advance. Proper permits were sought and granted, and the peaceful protest was going to plan then. Due to political pressure from the left, the city of Charlottesville rescinded the permit a few days before the rally. This was a clear violation of the First Amendment. Fuck you, Antifa. But the left wasn't finished. And the police department ordered the rally an unlawful assembly and threatened to arrest anybody, once again, violating the First and Ninth Amendment. Then things got bloody. George Soros, Antifa stepped up to the plate, unleashing chaos and hate as per their job described. The mainstream media is spreading lies and deceit to further the false flag in an attempt to deflect from the transparent agenda by rallying angrily against President Trump for failing to say exactly what they want him to say, despite the fact Obama did not disavow Black Lives Matter after they destroyed Ferguson and Baltimore. The real footage captured by citizen journalists on the ground in Charlotte proves that the mainstream media was peddling lies, which they always fucking do. About the incident, from the comfort of the air conditioning ivory tower, car crash, that is thought to be false flag, designed to mislead, deceive, and take away our rights. The following video, around 2 minutes, and shows the crash was real in real time, shows Fields' car being rammed from behind. Okay, Joni Turner Law tweeted, "This shows everything: the car, Ram, and BLM being chanted. It shows girl being killed. This is a BLM march." Okay. Now, feisty Floridian, Obama didn't disavow BLM after they destroyed Ferguson, Baltimore. Quite contrary, he invited them to the White House. Hashtag Charlottesville. The Charlottesville violence is far left agitation. It is worse. It is the combination of violence rhetoric, spew of mouth from the mouth of Hillary Clinton and Loretta Lynch in cahoots with George fucking Soros, a failing presidential candidate, and her cronies are attempting to stage a false flag to take away the rights of conservatives to lawfully organize rallies and assembly peacefully. Chaos and hate is the order of the day. Was a lawless one march us towards police state and new world order, while the real terrorists are allowed to roam free in prison. I think the whole is absolutely I just think that the whole fucking thing is absolutely insane. Insane. I mean, I just I mean, I just don't fucking get it, man. I mean, why would I think the whole fucking thing's nuts. The whole thing is absolutely nuts. Bombshell report on the DNC hack by the foreign experts claiming that it was an inside job. This is the IGR.com. Okay, let's see here. Bombshell report on the DNC hack by foreign experts claiming it was an inside job, not the Russians. This is the declaration, Independent Journal Review. Much of the past year, politically speaking, has been mired in the Russia scandal. However, the countless multiple investigations that are still ongoing and non-stop political scapegoating has resulted in very little, if any, hard evidence. A murky, obtuse, politically motivated, rational, and grandstanding is being to test tolerance of the public. It is also beginning to test those on the intellectual left who have very reason to want Donald Trump implicated in a crime and haste his departure from office. However, without evidence of the crime, there can be no conviction. Now, the infamous hack of the Democratic National Committee, the cornerstone of the Russian hack allegation, indeed the root which holds together. The very underpinnings of the scandal have been blown wide open by a new bombshell reported by Patrick Lawrence of the National, one of the country's most liberal publications, told details at least for the first time solid evidence in the case, compiled through exhausting interviews and forensic experts and former national security intelligence officers who are independently investigating the DNC hack. The conclusion of the report: this was not a hack. A hack is impossible based on the evidence. This was instead an inside job by somebody who directly downloaded information from the DNC servers on a hard drive and transported it intended it to be released. Here are the most compelling arguments in the report. A large group of experts agree there is no evidence to support the hack of the DNC. There has been a long effort to counter the official narratives we are now calling Russiagate. This effort has so far focused on the key event noted above, leaving numerous others to still be addressed. Until recently, researchers were undertaking this work faced critical shortcomings, and these are to be explained, but they are achieved significant new momentum in the past several weeks, and what they have done now yields the very consequential fruit. Forensics investigators, intelligence analysis, systems designers, program architects, and computer scientists of long experience and strong credentials are now producing evidence disproving the official version of key evidence last year. Their work is intricate and continues at a kinetic pace as we speak, but its contained results so far too simply stated of frightened and implications. There was no hack of the DNC's system on July 5th last year. Not by the Russians, not anybody else. Hard science now demonstrates it was a leak, a download, executed locally with a memory key or a similarly portable data storage device. In short, it was an inside job by somebody with access to the DNC system. This casts serious doubt on the initial hack as alleged that led to the very consequential publication of a large store of documents on WikiLeaks last summer. The transfer times of the files would be impossible without somebody in the DNC building. Forensicators first decided findings made public in a paper dated July 9th concerning the volume of supposedly hacked material and what is called the transfer rate. The item of remote hack would require the metadata established several facts in this regarded with granular precision. On the evening of July 5th of last year, 1,976 megabytes of data were downloaded from the DNC server. Operation took 87 seconds. The yield transfer rate of 22.7 megabytes per second. Statistics of matters of record essential to disproving hack theory. No internet service provider such as the hacker would have had to use the mid 2016 was capable of downloading data in this speed. Compounding this contradiction, Lucifer claimed to have run this hack from Romania, which for numbers of reasons typically called delivery overheads would slow down the speed of the hack even further from maximum achievable speed. Maximum achievable speed, Forensicator recently ran a test download and comparable download volume and using a server speed not available in 2016. 40 miles from the computer via a server 20 miles away came up speed of 11.8 megabytes per second, half of what the DNC operators would need it in the hack. 22.7 megabytes in a simple, unattainable, especially if we are talking about transoceanic data transfer golden set. Based on the data we now have what we've been calling a hack is impossible. Last week, Forensicator reported on a speed test he conducted. More recently, it tied to the case considerably transferring rates of 23 megabytes per second. Are not just highly unlikely, but effective if possible to accomplish what communicating over the internet at day at any significant distance. He wrote for their local copy threads are measured, demonstrating that 23 megabytes per second is a typical transfer rate when using a USB 2 flash drive device, a thumb drive. I mean, holy shit! Absolutely fucking insane. Like, holy shit. I mean, five things you need to know about the Charlottesville White Supremacist Terrorists by Ben Shapiro. Shit. Apps predators use. 5 apps experts warn against for kids and teens. This is by WKRG.com. Apps predators use. 5 apps experts warn against teens and teenagers. Okay. Mobile, Alabama, WKRG. On Thursday night, News 5 Investigates brought you into offices of local cyber defense divisions that brings you the apps predators use. Our expert for mobile police, the Mobile County Sheriff's Office and Child ISP Center of Mobile demonstrated dangers of giving smartphones and tablets to children. It is not appropriately monitored. Kids are prone to download messaging apps that exposes them to child predators who lurk online waiting to talk to their next victim. There are offenders out there who use these children to turn into their victims, said Commander Kevin Levy, who heads Mobile's Cyber Unit, Intelligence Unit. It begins with someone thinking it was going to be them. The problem is younger than teenagers, children as 8 years old are messaging apps, talking to strangers posing as a friendly face. It is just one click, says Chuck Gayton of Child Advocacy Center in Mobile. Kids want phones and apps because other kids want them too. Now here is a news here. News here. This is News 5. This should be let's see, News 5 visit the Digital Forensic Department in a Mobile County Sheriff's Office where Detective Laura Sawyer set up a fake profile to illustrate the problem firsthand. She poses as a 15-year-old girl with photoshopped profile image within minutes and was approached and friended requested by strangers, some claiming to be from our area. You give in your children a device, an electronic device that can actually allow your children to meet somebody and get them killed, said Detective Sawyer. The experts highlights 5 apps that parents the experts highlighted 5 apps that parents should uninstall if discovered on a child's device. 1. Kick. One of the apps most dangerous for curious teenagers, known for its large user base to private message app, has developed a reputation for sexting and anonymous conversation. Yik Yak, and unique in that this app is GPS based. The program steers users to chat with others within a few miles of their location. Yik Yak has been since ended due to safety concerns. Number 3, Yellow. A newcomer to the list, Yellow has been nicknamed Tinder for teens. The online dating app is becoming increasingly popular with kids who are lying about their date of birth for access. Number 4, Ask FM. The ultimate attention seeker app. Users send open and anonymous questions to users and wait for response, oftentimes leading to more interaction. Now 5, Live.ly. The most troublesome in that this is a live streaming app. Kids and teens are hosting private shows from the confines of their home, usually in their bedrooms, oftentimes divulging personal details. Of the 4 apps above that are active, we reach out to developers for a response to the conclusions on the list. One app respond, and that was Ask FM. Here is the action plan they sent us to limit the data of children. First, it may not be well known that Ask FM has made a huge investment change in its project policy and it features leadership over the past 3 years by both sets of company owners, including Ask.com, and currently Newsphere, which has positioned Ask FM as a leader of online safety for young people, especially with technical innovations in filtering images, and especially I mean, all this. I mean, I tell you what, it's best to watch out, be aware of. Okay, here's a website. HTTPS slash safety.ask.fm. That's also on here, askfm.antibullyingpro.com. I mean, it's very. I mean, these apps are really insane, so and dangerous. So be aware that these apps can be dangerous, and watch out. You know, monitor your kids, monitor them big time. And lucky enough, my son's 18, so I mean, even though it's dangerous, even for him when he was younger, and I would definitely be careful. So I want to close this. Please share this video. I would surely appreciate it big time. And if you're new to this channel, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below, and remember, knowledge is free. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. All right, peace out. Revan out.